Stay tuned for your weekly news review on STVS.
Good evening and welcome to the news review in English. I'm your presenter, Susan Maynard. On Thursday, May 16th, the no smoking sign was revealed at the Academic Hospital, Paramaribo, AZP, by the Minister of Health and the Director of the hospital. The AZP already has a smoking ban for 5 years now. Antoine Brahim, Director of the AZP, says that the hospital supports the ministry with this prohibition. The Minister of Health, Michael Blokland, says that it's known for years that smoking is not allowed in government buildings. In the run up to June 7th, the ministry is working on informing the society about the anti-tobacco law. The Ministry of Health is the place where the anti-tobacco law should be implemented first. The new office building of the Subdirectorate of the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry and Fishery, LVV, will soon be completed. The structural completion of the building was on Thursday, May 16th. Work has slightly took longer than a year to complete. This subdirectorate is moved a few times and is currently housed at the Corantinstraat. The Deputy Director of Animal Husbandry, Edmund Rosenblad, the Director of LVV, Gerrit Breinburg, and the Minister of LVV, Hendrik Citrovijoyo, said a few things regarding the delivery of the building. After all the speeches, the symbolic handing over of the key to the building and the guiding tour took place. The way in which the inhabitants of the Marovena area have responded to the flooding can serve as an example for other areas. This says Jerry Sleingaard, head of the National Disaster Management Coordination Center. On Thursday, May 16th, some villages were flooded in such a way that the residents had to look for higher ground. This happened with the help of the district commissioner and other private individuals. Most were housed in the Ronnie Brunswijk Stadium. Sleingaard complimented the actions taken. Also, the Tapanahoni and Lawa region, villages in Wanica and Para, and portions in Saramaka and Weg naar Zee were submerged. Sleingaard hopes that the situation will be restored very soon, although he thinks that won't happen as long as the rain still persists. If every year the same areas are flooded, they should look for other living spaces for the people. The NCCR comes in where it is necessary. Women in leadership positions should strive to improve the positions which women occupy in society. This came forward during the two-day conference for the Parla America, which was organized by the National Assembly. The Parla America organization consists of countries that are members of the OAS. Jennifer Simons, Speaker of Parliament, says that the conference was successful. In the election of 2010, political parties focused on young people. Simons has made an analysis. Parliament will, in the course of the week, in a private session, look more closely at this conference. There is still a stigma attached to people living with HIV and AIDS. On May 19th, the Worldwide AIDS Candlelight Memorial was organized. Different organizations in Suriname also commemorated this day annually. This year's theme, In Solidarity, stresses the need for people living with and affected by HIV to join hands and to cooperate in the fight against HIV. Solidarity in communities is essential in order to reduce stigma. Also promoting the involvement of people living with HIV to ensure the effectiveness of HIV response. Milena Pocorni, organizer of the Lubicandra Vaca in Paramaribo, has organized a walk in a small scale. For this year, she wanted to do it differently, but it didn't work. In Para, a Lubicandra Vaca was also held. Next year, the organization will start with activities from December 1st until May 19th. Besides the worldwide AIDS Candlelight Memorial on May 19th, on May 20th, it was 30 years ago that the first symptoms of HIV and AIDS were discovered. The Ombudsman's Office is established at the Academic Hospital Paramaribo, AZP, in order to improve the service to the patients. In the past, the AZP faced a lot of complaints from the community. But the AZP could not tackle it good enough because it did not know exactly what was going on. The office is already about 2 years active and handled complaints about the long waiting time and the bad treatment by medics or other personnel. The National Coordination Center for Disaster Management, NCCR, recently provided the victims of the flooding in the Kotika area with sheets, blankets, mattresses, and other aid supplies. This was made possible by the Energy Fund of the NCCR, whose emergency supply that the relief organization has in its warehouse are a part of, says the head of the NCCR, Jerry Sleingaard. Since the flooding in the Kotika region recently, some ministers and deputies have visited the affected area for an orientation. So too, the Minister of Transport, Communications and Tourism, Felicie Pinas, who visited some of the flooded villages on Saturday, May 18th, the villagers of Benatimofu village have already spent 4 days with all their belongings and households in a recreation room, including babies and children. The parents are worried about their children falling behind in education, and there's also fear of the outbreak of diseases. Minister Pinas urged the villagers not to give up, but to work together on solutions. To mitigate the need, the minister donated the people some products such as water, rice, and meat. Also, the villages Akalikondre and Rikanomofo and the villagers who have been accommodated in the Brunswick Stadium got a visit from the minister. A number of parliamentarians have addressed a letter to the Speaker of Parliament, Jennifer Simons, asking her to put the problem of flooding on the agenda of the next meeting of Parliament. The water in the villages have not receded yet, since the downpours still persist. Suriname is a practical learning school in many areas. This could be echoed by the different companies that establish themselves and interns who come to Suriname to obtain practical knowledge. But also as a study tour, Suriname is a country that offers opportunities to students. 25 Guyanese students of the School of Nations from Guyana were on study tour in Suriname for 8 days. These future chemical scientists have visited various companies and locations such as IM Gold, Staatsolie, and the Hydro Dam. Also, they enjoy the culture of some traditional villages. It is for their teacher, Mishika Veit, important to obtain practical knowledge. They can make a comparison with what they have learned at school. Two eager students, Alexandra Fangi and Orlando Joseph, both agreed that Suriname is the most practical reflection of the theory. According to Alexandra, Guyana also has potential, but it will take time. Orlando is possibly interested to come back to Suriname for further study. This annual study tour is a close cooperation between Caribbean Center and the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport of Guyana. Thursday, the students returned to Guyana. Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs Ismanto Atna, and Senator Winston Williams, Minister of Education, Sports, Youth and Gender of Antigua and Barbuda, signed a cooperation agreement last Tuesday. The agreement is a report in which a number of decisions are mentioned. Williams visited a number of ministries and their departments. He also held talks with various officials about a cooperation. Minister Atna notes that there are similarities between the two countries, but in some areas we can learn from them, especially in the field of sport and the execution of youth programs. Williams returned the same day to Antigua and Barbuda. The students of the 6th form of schools for elementary education in the Kotika area have participated in the measuring moments of the Ministry of Education last Wednesday. Humbert Amania, retiree from the Bureau for Education in the Interior, is still involved in the logistic activities of the department. He stressed that there were no problems and that the children had started simultaneously with the other students in Paramaribo and the districts. The children did their tests in Mungo. Since the schools in Mungo fall under the Bureau of Education in the Interior, the ministry had transformed the implementation to the Bureau. Mr. Amania said that a coordinator was appointed who, together with the inspector, had to coordinate the test of the measuring moment of the pupils in the area. That concludes our news review in English. For more information, you can visit us at www.stvs.sr. I'm Susan Maynard.